Hello, this is the first of perhaps a trilogy of movies about our visit to Liberia earlier this year. This one, I just want to give you thanks for your help, support, contributions. It was our 10th visit, and we had a great time actually. But here are some of Robert's children learning the names of parts of our body. Here we go.
Show me your hand. Show me your ear. Show me your arm. Show me your nose. Show me your mouth. Show me your chin. Show me your neck. Show me your chest. Show me your bubase. Show me your bottom. Show me your bottom.
Wonderful. So yes, thank you for your prayers, your gifts, your money. We took another 100 kilos of gifts over to them. The usual sort of things: head torches, general torches, a number of battery packs because they don't have electricity very much, and where they do, it's on and off. So these are really helpful to them. Children's clothes, some Bibles, books, some MP3 players, 7 laptops. It was quite a bumper year for laptops for them. Yeah, as always, as well as a lot of smartphones that we had given to us. That was brilliant. One of the people that one of our friends over there is a nurse, and she was asking for this typhoid test kit, so we got her that as well. And then we also were given money for the orphan fund, which I'll talk about a little later, a scholarship fund, which puts some of the younger children, or puts them in school full stop, as opposed to not at all. Rent trap, there are some of the pastors or key leaders that are paying so much rent that it's not good, so we've helped them out a little bit with that. And then there's also the youth education support, so that's older people who are at college or university, that sort of thing. Here's a picture of Wan Yen. He's one of those. He's doing a degree in education, and he just bought a solar panel because he lives in an area where there is literally no electricity, and if he wants to do some work in the evening, he needs something to provide the juice. This is Prince holding one of very many rechargeable torches we got, and then a couple of some laptops. So the next few slides are me trying to catch up with what we did in 2022, which I haven't told anyone about. Lots of things were going on. We had the scholarships that we carry on. We've been doing that for many years now. There's about 44 children, in fact, that we support in the 4 of these school communities. There's orphan support for 5 children. That's really appreciated. They've taken on children because their parents have died or left them, or for different reasons, and putting them through school and keeping them fed and watered is not cheap. Teacher training, college fees. So the government have been getting a bit stricter and requiring, quite rightly, that teachers have a teacher training qualification. So for some that didn't have it in the schools, we're putting them through that. University support for 3 young adults, that's an ongoing thing. And because mostly with the older youth, they need laptops and phones because that's the way it's going online there as well. So they need to be updated because they break not infrequently, mostly because of the heat, I think, but also the sand. Teacher salaries, we have been helping out for 5 of the 6 schools to pay the teachers' salaries. We're trying to make or encourage them to be self-funding and working with them to do that. So we've got 2 of them self-funding and 3 to go. But there is an issue, I think, in even though it's perhaps a good idea, of course, there are at least two of those 3 schools are in an area where there simply isn't any money. One of them is George's school in the swamp. There's just abject poverty there, so it's probably unlikely that they would ever be self-supporting. There's also a vocational teacher salary. So Robert has started one, and Joseph has also started one, in which after school finishes in the morning, the younger kids go away, and then older kids and adults from the community come, and they're taught all manner of things like sewing, woodwork, brickwork, computer skills, all manner of things. The idea that Robert had when they started it, apart from being a good idea anyway, was that he would encourage the parents of the children that come to his school who don't pay the registration fees. He would give them some skills, they would then earn some money. But they are going well. We gave them in 2022 2 sewing machines for Joseph's vocational teaching school. We sent over some printers, or money for printers, and microphones for 3 schools because they print a lot of stuff. Electricity generators as well for 2 of the schools, because they need them. So here we have Abraham. He's one of the key leaders, a wonderful man. He has just graduated from a teaching degree. He works in George's school. There's Robert's new generator, and there's some ladies from Joseph's community learning how to sew. We've also given 0 interest loan for someone to do a money transfer business. So the money is transferred, it's converted from digital currency, as it were, to real money in your hand. That seems to be going quite well. We're always looking to find ways where we can invest, a small amount of money, as far as we're concerned, into some people who are trustworthy and honest and are able to do that sort of thing. One of the pastors lost his job suddenly, so we replaced his income for 6 months while he sorted himself out. Every now and again there's a medical problem. Someone we know has a serious issue. This young man was part of Jonathan's church, and he became sick really very quickly. So we paid for some dialysis and things like that. Unfortunately, he died, which was very sad. He leaves behind a young wife and a 5-year-old daughter. So that was happening as well last year. And then there's finance for support for their ministry trips to Sierra Leone, Ghana, and other counties within Liberia. And here's some pictures of Robert's trip over to Maryland. It took, what does it say here? It was about 450 miles. It took 3 days sleeping in a car. Average of 12 miles an hour. That's tough. Here is Abraham, his house, and he didn't have any windows or ceiling. So and he lives just on the edge of the swamp. So there's mosquitoes everywhere when the rainy season starts, and and the rain, when the rain comes, and it does, it was going straight through their windows, and so we wanted to help him. Because he's a key leader within the community. He's loved by the community, and he has the community in his house a lot. This is 2021 Joseph's library, not built, and this is Joseph's library now, or as it was in 2022. So that's all filled with a few computers and a few books. So that's really great. Since then, he has, because he wants to extend the range, the age groups that he can teach, he's now taken the one story and put on, he's cast the concrete on the top, and he's going to build another story. So he can go up to 16-year-olds or something like that. So that's his next project. And here we are on the top. There you can see the younger school, and coming up is his church there, and that's his house there. This is 1 yen again, and his solar panel. That's Prince, who's also trying to get through an education degree but struggling. And the community, and the market for the local community, empty now but it gets busy in the mornings. And then also, so we've been helping obviously all that building work that you've just seen. That happened last year. We've also helped with the building work for Robert's school. He had 4 more classrooms added, so what you see here is what was there. He's had that for a few years now, and that's very busy and very full. But now it's all been extended out the side, so he doesn't have to use the church building, which is one of the key things really, because the inspectors didn't like that. So now we have something specific for the kids, and he can go up another year, I think, because he's got the space. You can see there's still a lot of work to do. Once, if you look up at the roof, the windows don't have glass on them, so it means the rain can come in. The mozzies don't, because there is a screen, but I think in a moment you'll see upwards, and there's big gaps between the walls and the roof, where the wind whistles through quite easily. And a library. Great, so we have 7 schools, and they're all doing well, offering more than the local competition, and cheaper, generally speaking. So here they all are. The good thing about movies is that you can pause it now and read it properly, because I'm going to skip fairly quickly. We've got about 800 children plus across all of these schools, and they really wouldn't be there otherwise. So they're really appreciated and valued by the parents and the children. Children love to come. As I mentioned before, ownership by the community of the schools is one of the ways that we're trying to help the schools become independent of our support, which may or may not be possible, but that's something that we are carrying on with. And then I mentioned here the vocational schools as well. This is Robert's vocational school, the tailoring class, and here is Robert. They shortly after we left, they had a break-in, and then 2 of their sewing machines were stolen, which is a shame. We haven't been able to replace those yet. But so here's Robert explaining.
Yeah, Calvin, this is the tailoring class, and as you can see, all of the machines were stolen, only the ones left, and the teachers are willing, and also the students, all of them are willing to learn. We are praying for a machine so that everyone can be able to have access to a machine each if they come to class. This is what we are doing. You can see only one machine, all of them are sewing on. So please pray along with us to be able to have access to a machine. Thank you. God bless you.
Here's some of the children. Here we have Robert's school and in one of their classes, and this is Robert's school in the church building having some sort of party. Probably a graduation ceremony as well. And this is James's school. I was talking this week to George, and he's telling me that many of the kids have dropped out of school because of hunger, and he literally sees them walking around looking for food whilst they should be in school. So they don't have money to eat before school, and they have no meal after school, and he just sees them roaming around. So because George is George, he'd love to start a small canteen. He's already actually got the building, and he's had this idea for a long time, but again it needs some finances. As well as all the practical stuff, we were meeting weekly with the key leaders throughout 2022. Very well received. We have a great relationship with them, and it's helped deepen our relationship even further. We've also discovered an excellent young leader called Jerome. I'll show you a picture of him later. We discuss things like the power of gospel stories, the parables that Jesus told, and storytelling in particular we found very powerful, especially in the rural villages, which is really where we tend to go. We've looked at key elements of authentic and fruitful relationships with Jesus, but in particular, again, well, practically, really, what we're looking for is to improve the communities that they all live in, and one of those ways has been with growth groups, where you have 2 or 3 people, no more than that, sitting down regularly once a week, or sometimes every night, depending on what they want to do. And they just discuss a little section out of the Bible, or mostly a parable that Jesus spoke, or a story. Then they pray for each other, and then they think about and consider ways that they might be able to give some sort of benefit back to their community. So that's the growth group. Then every now and again, say once a month or whatever, you can have a collection of growth groups come together as a missional community. So they do that regularly. It's just a house full, doesn't need a building. They have a meal together, they talk about what's going on, they pray for each other, and again they also consider ways to impact the community for the good. So we were a number of them, but one of the ones we went to in the swamp, they had 3 needs. One was a clinic, which they haven't got. One was a well for drinking water, and something for the young children, because there's nothing for them to do after school. So they were praying about it, and also going out into the community, trying to talk about it and find out ways that they could make that happen. So these 2 ideas we have many testimonies of how powerful they've been within, in shaping a community for the better. And obviously we keep in regular weekly contact, or nearly daily sometimes, with other friends. It was good news when I came back in March. I had 1,200 quid waiting for me as another gift from someone, and that was that missional community's answer to prayer for their well for the drinking water. So I sent that over, and within a week, it was just a matter of days actually, that they dug the hole and and got it working. You can see here they love it very much, because the distance to walk was huge, really. I mean, it was not close, it was not far off half a mile, especially when in the dry season, when the number of the wells dry out and they have to go further. So there's George giving it a whirl. So the nice thing about the well, and or at least doing it with the missional community, with basically a group of people within the community, they've taken ownership of it. They worked out where to put it, the best place and what type, and they organise all the sort of maintenance and looking after it, and making sure it's locked and unlocked as needed. In 2023, what we do know so far is that we are helping to extend 2 of the school buildings. So you saw Robert's extension from last year. Well, he needs another extension. So here we have another one. This will take him again, like as with Joseph, it will take him up to 16-year-old age groups. So this is as far as he's got so far. The problem with the sort of areas that, or at least 3 of the areas that we have schools in, is that they get pretty wet in the rainy season, so the foundations need to be pretty good. They cost a lot of money, but that's ongoing. And James also, he's extending his school as well. And here's another graduate, a young man called Abraham. He's part of George's community. He has just graduated with the degree in biology. I was talking to his dad today and just sent him a couple of $100 so that he can start a medical school, which he's thrilled about. So here is the people that we've particularly been working with, the leaders at least. There's the people we've known for many years: George and Martha, James and Martha, Morris and Victoria, Joseph, Agnes, Jonathan, Lydia, Tamba, Sarah, Robert, Marie, Abraham, Victoria, Clarence and Mary. Clarence has been around in the background for some while, but he's started to be one of the leaders in one of the missional communities. So he's a key man now. And here's Jerome, asking his girlfriend to be his fiancée a couple of months ago, and she said yes. He's a great man. Well, she lives in Monrovia. They both live in Monrovia, but he spends the week in Bombay County, which is where we went, which is, I don't know, 70 miles away, but it's 4 or 5 hours journey for them. So he stays there and is, as a missionary to the communities over there. I did go, and here's a picture to prove it. So thank you so much for your time, your interest, your continued support.
I do the washing as well, yes.
So that's Grace washing my clothes in the stream. So I hope next to make another short movie of life in rural Liberia, so with pictures like this to show you what it's like for them. Thank you.